I want you to brief me about
Hi
yourself.
everyone, this is Michael Teoh here, the founder of Thriving Talents, joining us here tonight. It's one of my more intimate sessions because one of the things I love to do during my free time is to actually have a chat with a lot of students, with a lot of graduates, with a lot of people out there who is willing to learn. Especially right here tonight, we have Kimberly. I understand, Kimberly, you're in a public area right now, right? You're in a university, right?
Yeah. I'm in
Great.
campus.
Well, I really appreciate your time and your effort for being here. So thank you again, Kimberly, for making the time.
Thank you so much for participating in this interview.
Great. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, let me share a little bit. So I met Kimberly at the Sunway University Careers Bootcamp. So Sunway University is one of Malaysia's premier private universities. They have global partnerships and collaborations with the world's leading universities, and Kimberly is studying a degree in business management in Sunway University. And every year, my team and I at Thriving Talents, we would actually be implementing and organizing career boot camps to prepare students to make sure that they're employable for employers out there. So there you go, Kimberly. I understand that you're here to interview me. So ask me away.
Oh, sorry. Your last word? Your last
Yes.
sentence?
Great. Ask me away. I understand
Oh, okay.
you're here to interview me, so let's go.
Okay. First question is about work-life balance. So can I know when you start your business?
Well, I started my business in the year 2012, Thriving Talents particularly. We are a talent development company where we help companies to develop young leaders and enhance their people's potential in producing higher productivity and also higher profitability for the company. So when I started my business was in the year 2012, and during that time I was 24 years old. But what's interesting is, Kimberly, just to share with you, that was not my first business. In fact, I started my very first business when I was 21 years old. And that was a business experience of event management. And as some entrepreneurs would have shared with you, or I would believe many of them will, over the years, they start to transform their business. They start to find what is really their strength in running the business, and then they evolve their business. So as for me, I started with a event management company, and then I went on to produce a talent development company, Thriving Talents, which is something I'm doing right now. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you answered the first question and the second question. So the third question is, how do you balance work and life?
Well, I think in terms of balancing work and life, it really depends on your priorities. In a sense where I am not a believer that you do not have time to do things. I'm a believer that you need to make time to do things. And oftentimes when people ask me, Michael, how do you make time to do things? I will normally ask them, what are your priorities? If your priority is to grow your business at this point, then your priority would be to dedicate more time to your business. If your priority at this time is to look for new customers for your business, then I hope for the survival and growth of your business that you are actually dedicating time to go out there and talk to more people, to go out there to meet and create new customers, to go out there and network, to go out there to meet other people, other companies, other organizations, other entrepreneurs, other mentors who could actually connect you with people who could become your new clients. So again, for me, work-life balance, yes, it's important. I mean, some people say work-life balance is having the ability to sleep 8 hours a day. And I highly encourage that because that keeps you healthy, that keeps you fit. Work-life balance, some people have also said that it's about having enough holidays. It's about having enough meal time. You consume, you eat very nutritious meals. But I would like to share, in my point of view, work-life balance simply means understanding your priority, understanding what's important to you at this time, and then making a commitment to actually make time to do those high priority things. There you go.
Okay, so that is very clear answer. So can I know, work and life, which one is you prioritize most?
Well, at the moment, you see, what happened is that a lot of people tend to say that life is important. If I have the chance to go abroad, if I have the chance to go abroad, if I have the chance to go for a holiday, I would like to do that. Because some people believe that is life. That if I get more time to spend with my family, if I can get more time to spend with my loved ones, if I get more time to do something I really love, that is life. And I think when people talk about work-life balance, they're trying to separate both of these elements. So you have life and you have work. Now, I don't really like this definition. Reason being because for me, I integrate both. I love life and I love work. And that's because I'm working on something, developing people, speaking to thousands of people every year, working with companies to develop the young leaders in their organizations. I love doing what I do, which is why my work is also part of my life. Now, obviously, not everyone are like me. So what happened is I would really suggest work is work, but try to like what you do. Pervade it every day when you still go to work. At least try. And I'm a believer, it's always better to be positive. And then you have life. Life here means while you are working hard at your work, what is that one thing that motivates you? What are those things, activities that push you forward every day, that gets you ahead, that keeps you awake at night, excitingly wanting to do it?
Oh, okay. That answer my question. So, so can we move to a second part of the question?
Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's do it.
So the first is, how is your family members involved in your business?
Well, first and foremost, my family business, well, my family, they are not involved in my business, even though I must give credit though. When you talk about family being involved in your business, it can be seen in two ways. Number one, directly. Number two, indirectly. Directly, number one of your family members is actually your shareholder, or one of your parents are actually working in your company. That would be a direct involvement of family members in your business. However, my family members have been indirectly involved in my business by them providing moral support, by them providing guidance, by them providing comfort, especially during those times that business is tough. So I believe family members being involved in business, it can either be directly or indirectly, but most of the time it will be rather indirectly. If you involve your family members directly in your business, it's a whole new different dynamics. It's a whole new different expectations that you need to have an agreement with them.
Okay. So the second part of the question is, what are the skills and knowledge that you have gained from your family roles can apply in your work?
I think three things I've learned from my family. Number one, always be humble. Now, obviously, when people say always be humble, Michael, that's so motivational. I mean, what is there a skill? Come to think about it, it is a skill. You see, in Thriving Talents, since we were created in the year 2012, we have had the great opportunities to work with many, many large companies, despite being a young company on our own. I mean, just to name a few, we have worked with companies like Microsoft, Oracle, SAP, General Electric, HSBC. These are all the companies that we have had the chance to work with. And oftentimes people ask me, Michael, how did you do it? Well, my answer is be humble. In a sense where when I went to see all these companies, instead of trying to show them how smart I am there to show them what value I can add to them. And most importantly, I am also there to show them on how I am humble to learn. I'm humble to take their feedbacks. I am humble to modify my products and services that will best meet their needs. And I think your openness to innovate new products, to listen to your customers, can only come with your openness of being humble and being open to learn new things. Now, that's the first skill or experience from my family. Now, the second skill I've learned from my family is this quote: never go into a relationship thinking it's a transaction. Go into a relationship because you believe it can be a friendship. Now, when I was very young, my father, my late grandfather used to teach me a lot about human interaction. They used to tell me that, Michael, it's not all about you, it's about them. Michael, everyone is fighting their own difficult challenges every day. Don't be selfish. Don't think about yourself. Think about how you can help others. And I believe that has helped me so much. Because every time when I meet clients, when I meet CEOs, when I meet entrepreneurs, when I meet even politicians, even when I meet students like yourself, Kimberly, I've always had this great openness that I want to hear from you. And when I go into a conversation with you, I do not think upfront that I want to have a business deal with you, but rather I am thinking, how can I help you as an individual? And that has helped my company, Thriving Talents, grew across the years. Like I mentioned, we work with Fortune 500 companies across 39 countries. And we are proud about that because we are a bunch of young entrepreneurs, young enterprising people wanting to develop other talents.
Oh, that's great. So,
Oh yes, and yes, sorry. Third point I want to share.
yeah.
I remember you talk about the three skills and the three experiences. The third point that I would like to share is that one of the things I learned from my family is to always remember success is not a lonely journey. In a sense where if you want to achieve success, if you build your company, you should actually be ready to sacrifice your interests for the interests of your team. Because at the end of the day, I believe if you are an entrepreneur, if you want to start a business, it's good that you're good. It's good that you're the expert in what you do. But in order for you to grow your impact, the only way that can happen is to actually empower, train, and develop other people so that they too can enlarge, enhance, widen the impact that you can create.
Okay, that's answer my third question as well. So I think we can move on to the next session, which is
Sure.
family involvement.
Great.
Yeah, so the first question is, does your family member share household responsibility with you?
Well, definitely, if you're talking about family members who share business responsibility with me, again, I'm going to reiterate my previous answer directly and indirectly. If you were to ask me directly, no, they do not share any business interests with me directly. However, I can assure you, for any entrepreneur running a business, should your business not be doing well, your family members will be sharing some of the stress and the emotional burden with you. So yes, my family members do share some of the business responsibilities of my businesses indirectly. That's because they love me.
Indirectly, yeah, I understand.
They love me, they love the team that I have, and more often than not, I'm always in their prayers. They are always in my prayers. I'm always in their
So they
hopes
really
that the
support
business
you,
will do
right?
well, so that we'll be able to create more impact.
So another way around, does your family share your household responsibility with you?
Interesting. Well, here's the interesting part. Now, at this stage, I am a 30-year-old entrepreneur. I run a company with 10 full-time staff. We work with the biggest companies around the world across 39 countries, as I mentioned. So I tend to live alone at the moment until I get married and get my wife, who happens to be the CEO of my company. But we're not married yet. So technically, she's not my family member yet, but God willing, we will be. Now, here's the interesting part. Do my family share our household commitments? Now, obviously, whenever my family members come by, they do actually help out with the household where, you know, again, it's coming out of love. Where pretty much, like, I'll give you an example, my parents. So my parents, they are lovely, as I believe everyone's parents are. They're lovely. So what happened is that they knew that they have spent the last 40 years of their lives building a family, raising me, hi. And then what happened is that then now they know they're all retired and they know that they're not directly involved with my business. But one of the things I really like about my parents is that whenever they come down, they do not just sleep around or just sit around. What happened is that they actually try their best to contribute what little they can do to the household. So for example, when they come, they will make sure that I have very nice home cooked meals to eat. They will make sure that if any ways that they could help me, they will. And I can imagine in the future, God willing, should I be blessed with kids, I have a wife and a house. What happens is that when my parents do come by, they could assist my business growth indirectly by becoming, for example, the butlers, if I'm going to share, the caretakers, the people who actually take care of my kids when me and my wife are out working. So I think that's how parents could get involved indirectly through the household with the growth of the business.
Okay, they're interested. So how do they help you balance in your work and life when
Well,
they
you see,
come by?
well, you see, one of the things though, priorities. My priority now is to grow my business, right? So what happened is that obviously when I come back home, well, you could say that not everything is as tidily kept as possible. I mean, I try. Like I could show you, like my house is pretty neat, as you can see. But what happened is that at times I do not have the priority to clean my entire house. I may not have the priority to spend 2 to 3 hours in the kitchen to cook a nice home cooked meal. So what happens is that when my parents do come, or my loved ones, or my family members, they understand that. And they understand that one of the ways how they could add value is, for example, my lovely mother will be cooking a home meal for me so that when I come back, she knows I will be served with a nice home cooked meal. Now what happens? Because she has cooked a home cooked meal for me, that allows me more time to prioritize other things that is related to my business, that is related to my career, that is related to my personal development. So that is how I would describe parents adding to your work-life balance.
Okay, that's very clear. So the next
Okay.
question is, how does your family assist you in your work? For example, providing advice or anything else?
Well, obviously, yes, my parents, they are both entrepreneurs. They started out from humble beginnings. And up until this day, they do provide me with a lot of advice, a lot of coaching, a lot of guidance. But I think as an entrepreneur like myself, running a few businesses, running a thriving talent development company around the world, one of the things that they really provided me with is just love. And love here could be just providing that extra ear for me to hear my problems, for me to come back to a nice, warm, home cooked meal, for me to come back knowing that there'll be people smiling at me, greeting me at the main entrance of the door. So they do provide advice, yes, but most importantly, I believe for many entrepreneurs, we need our parents to provide us with love and reassurance with whatever we are doing.
Oh, so when you face any difficulty in your business, how does them help you or support you in terms of emotional?
Well, obviously by sharing their love with me, by ensuring that I have a nice warm cup of coffee after a long day. My mom knows that I love grilled chicken with rice, so she would grill the best chicken in town, I believe, and I'm sure about that. She would grill the best chicken in town and she would let me eat it, to enjoy sumptuous dinner. I think when any entrepreneur faces a problem, and if their parents are not directly involved with the business, one of the things that parents could do is to just show love, is to just show comfort to the entrepreneur, is to give assurance to the entrepreneur that everything will be fine.
Oh, okay. So you did receive the support from them, right?
Oh, definitely, lots of it. Yeah, indirectly, lots of it.
Okay, so we move to the last session, which is flexible working arrangement. So the first question
Great.
is, as an entrepreneur, do you enjoy flexible working arrangement and how?
I think at the end of the day, to answer your question, it depends on the personality of the person. Number one, would you give flexible working hours to people and even myself? Definitely yes. We love flexible working hours. We love to work anywhere and anytime we want. However, we need to be true to ourselves. Are we committed? Are we disciplined enough to follow the strict schedule of the flexible working hours, because at the end of the day, working on flexible working hours, it's a matter of trust. Your employers, your bosses, your CEO, your lecturer, your colleagues to give you the empowerment to do your work anywhere at any time is because they trust you that you'll be able to deliver the work. So for your case, you need to ask yourself, can you trust yourself enough to follow up, follow through, and deliver the work, no matter where you are, no matter what time is it?
So how do you enjoy the flexible working arrangement?
Well, one of the things I love to do as the founder of Thriving Talents is that I no longer need to go to the office every day. So what happens is that I'll find myself at the comfort of my home or in a cafe or in a restaurant, in a golf course, and I will be using those opportunities to network with people. Now, again, you have to understand, in my business, I meet many CEOs because I need to convince the CEOs to give me the opportunity to develop young leaders for them so their business can make more profits, so their business could become better in the future. So what happened here is that I would often spend my time in all these cafes, golf courses, networking with the top-notch CEOs and entrepreneurs. Now, while I'm not networking, no doubt some people may say, Michael, you're enjoying yourself. How is that work? Truth be told, though, that is work. Because every time when I network, I have this mindset that I am there to get to know a person. Again, go into a relationship to build a friendship. Don't go into a relationship just to build a transaction yet. So what happened is that when I get to know all these CEOs and entrepreneurs, I get to know them as a person. I understand how I can help them. And then in my later meetings, I then pitch them my business. And that's how we have grown. So I would say I love flexible working hours, but you need to be committed and you need to be disciplined to follow up and follow through.
Okay. So for the next question is, how does flexible working hours help you in your work and life?
Flexible working hours has definitely given me a sense of flexibility. Number one, in terms of my time. I am able to wake up anytime I want. I am able to go out and have meetings anytime I want. But again, that comes with a lot of commitment and discipline. And I believe one of the best part about having flexible working hours is that you feel that you're trusted. You feel that you're empowered. And when you feel trusted and empowered, it gives you also the responsibility to know that your colleagues in the office, your investors, your customers trust that you may not be in the office to work with them, but they trust and they empower and they know that you are out there talking to people, closing deals, expanding the business, impacting more lives for their benefit as well.
So you are not necessarily go to the office on time and leave on time, right?
Not necessarily, not for me, being the founder of the company, and I have a very capable team.
Okay, that's very flexible.
There you go.
The last question is, how does flexible working place help you in your work and life?
Well, definitely, having flexible working hours, as I've mentioned, you feel more empowered, you feel that you're trusted, and because you're able to manage your time to your own pace, you are then held accountable. You are held responsible to actually use these flexible working hours to actually make the best of your day. So it is not surprising, like right now, Kimberly, I'm having this interview with you at 10:45 p.m. Malaysian time. And I know during this time, if you're in a normal working environment, you'll be clocking off and saying, I don't do any interviews anymore. It's 10:45, it's time for me to rest. And perhaps I should be after a long day's worth of meeting, but I'm still here talking to you because I've enjoyed flexible working hours. I know that my team is trusting me that I deliver and help a student like yourself with the best interview output you can get when we talk about work-life balance for entrepreneurs. There you go.
Okay. So another way is like flexible working place help you in your work and life?
Definitely, of course. It helps me to have more time to do things that I love. But as much as I like to do the things that I love, I would also need to always remember to balance it out by doing things that I have to do because I am growing my business, I'm growing my dream here.
Okay. So I think we can come to the last question.
Okay?
So how does the flexible working place help you in your work and life? It's like you
How does
mentioned
flexible working,
place.
sorry, can you say that again?
Working flexible working place help you in your work and life. It's like just now you have mentioned you have worked in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
How does it help you balance your work and life?
Well, definitely, I think in terms of morale, it has definitely raised my morale and my motivation in a sense where at times, if you're working too long in the office, your mind is stuck. So one of the things that I always want to do is when I work in cafes, restaurants, or golf courses, or even at home, it gives me a peace of mind, and it allows me as well to look at opportunities that may not be that obvious when I'm in the office. Because in the office, I'm a believer, you are conditioned to see what you normally see in the office. When you go out, inspiration may happen. So I get new ideas as well from having flexible working hours.
Okay, so we come to the end. Thank you so much for participating
All
in
right.
this interview. It's a have a good time with you, although this is night time, but still very thank you for your participation.
No worries, Kimberly, and good luck with everything. Remember, work-life balance, flexible work hours comes with someone's commitment, discipline, and priorities in life. People will always spend more time and energy on the things that they like, and if you spend more time on the things that you like, it will grow. Thank you, Kimberly, and this is Michael Teoh here signing off from Thriving Talents. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.